Good morning. So today we're going to balance the equation. And in balancing equation, we're going to start with a combination reaction in which a combination reaction is a reaction starting up with a reactant and it will form one product. So I wrote down example here, hydrogen plus oxygen, it will form water. So take note that chemical equation is not a chemical equation without balancing it. So in order to balance it, let's go to that slide. So I wrote down a simple basic skeleton in the form of A, B, C right on the very top in order for us to follow much more clearer. So I wrote down A, simplifying reactant, plus B, another reactant, and arrow means to yield or to form or to produce, and C is a product. So this one on top is the one at the bottom. Now let's ready for balancing. Before we're gonna start doing the balancing, so I want you to know that again, a chemical equation is not completely a chemical equation without balancing because uh, we need to have the law of conservation of mass as it follows it. Mass is not lost nor gained. So it should be the same. So a chemical equation needs to follow the law of conservation of mass. So now let's balance the equation. So the first step in balancing the equation is um, assuming, and let's write down one right there. So when there's none, we know it is one. So I just wrote down 1, 1, 1. So for us to know a much more clear picture of what we're gonna do. So we call this coefficients, the one that I wrote down, and the coefficient always will be multiplied by the number of atoms. So let's start with this. 1 multiplied by 2. So we're gonna write it down there at the bottom, and then 1 multiplied by 2, and then we're going to write that down at the bottom. Here you go. And now let's go to the product, which is water molecule. So I have one water molecule, and again 1 is a coefficient, so any number right here is multiplied by each of this element. Okay, so 1 multiplied by 2, so I have 2, and 1 multiplied by 1, so I have 1. Now, if we're going to examine the whole thing, so we found out that hydrogen, oxygen, they are not the same. In short, they are not balanced. We don't have problem with hydrogen because they are balanced. However, oxygen is not. Now, if you're going to look on oxygen on the right side, 1 against 2. So we're just going to simply erase 1 here, and then we're going to make this 2. So in order for oxygen to be balanced. So it's kind of like a trial and error. Now, let's make this 2. So I'm writing down 2 right there. So we have no problem with oxygen. It is already balanced. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. Now, what did you notice? Hydrogen became 4. So therefore, we're going to erase this and make this 4. So again, 4. Now, where did I get the 4? Simple. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Now let's go back to the reactant side. So what are we going to do since the hydrogen became 4 on the right side? So the hydrogen on the left side, we're going to make it also 4 by erasing this 2 and by erasing this 1. So therefore, to erase it, I'm going to make it 2. So the missing number is 2, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Now, take a look one more time, left and right side of the equation, hydrogen 4, oxygen 2, oxygen 2. It is now balanced. So this is balancing.